You ever look at something like Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel and then look at a super modern living room and think, what could these two possibly have in common? Well, the answer is hiding in plain sight. It's right there on the wall. Today, we're going to dig into how an ancient art form has been completely reborn as a modern design trend, connecting these timeless masterpieces to the very spaces we live in today. Let's get into it.
I mean, at first glance, you'd think absolutely nothing, right? One is this priceless work of art, and the other is just a cozy place to live. But believe it or not, they share a common ancestor, a secret that is literally built right into the walls.
Okay, so take a look at this. On your left, that's a Roman fresco from Pompeii, still looking amazing after almost 2,000 years. And on the right, a really sleek modern living room. Are you seeing the connection yet? The clue isn't in the picture on the wall, it's in the wall itself. That texture, that warmth, the way the surface just feels like it's part of the room.
To understand this, our story has to start with an ancient technique, an art form so woven into architecture that it basically breathes with the building.
And that art is called fresco. The name itself, from the Italian word for fresh, really tells you everything you need to know. Artists would take pigments mixed with water and paint them directly onto wet plaster. As that plaster dries, there's this chemical reaction that just permanently locks the color in. So the painting isn't just sitting on top of the wall, it literally becomes the wall. The art and the building are one and the same.
And this technique is seriously ancient. We're talking about something that spans millennia and entire continents. We see it in Minoan palaces way back in 1600 BC, in those perfectly preserved Roman homes in Pompeii, decorating temples over in India, and of course, hitting its absolute peak during the Italian Renaissance with guys like Michelangelo. It is a truly timeless art form.
Now, you want to know the secret to fresco's incredible staying power? A lot of it came down to what was mixed into the plaster itself. For centuries, artisans were adding natural reinforcements, things like straw or even horsehair, to make the plaster stronger and keep it from cracking. This wasn't just art, it was like an ancient form of material science, creating a canvas that was built to last for thousands of years.
So, how in the world did this ancient idea, art that's part of the wall, get reborn for our modern age? Well, the answer lies in its architectural cousin, stucco.
At its core, stucco is just a decorative plaster. Traditionally, it was a super simple mix, lime, sand, and water, which is, very similar to the plaster used in those old frescoes. But modern stucco has evolved, big time. Today, it usually has cement and these polymer additives, which give it way more strength and flexibility.
So while the goal is often the same, getting that beautiful, rustic look, the materials themselves have had a major upgrade. Traditional plasters relied on natural stuff like straw to hold them together. Modern stucco uses high-tech cement and advanced additives to get that same timeless vibe, but with way better performance and durability.
And this brings us to a really popular trend that's happening right now, the straw wall effect. This is just the perfect example of old meets new. Designers are using modern stucco, sometimes even with actual straw or other fibers mixed right in, to create the look and feel of those ancient traditional walls made of straw and earth. It's all about capturing a sense of history and nature.
So why are people so into this look? Well, it's about more than just how it looks. It basically turns a plain old wall into a piece of art. It creates this connection to nature, and it brings a real sense of warmth and peace into a room. It's really the perfect marriage of that rustic beauty and modern-day performance.
Okay, so we've seen the history, and we've seen the aesthetic appeal, but what is it that makes modern stucco work so well? Let's zoom in a bit and look at the science behind one of its key ingredients.
The secret ingredient we're looking at is cellulose fiber. Now, that sounds all sciencey, but it's simple stuff. This is basically what makes up the cell walls of plants. It's a completely natural compound, but when you add it to modern materials like stucco, it has this incredible effect on how it performs.
And here is what it actually looks like up close. These tiny, natural fibers get mixed into the stucco and they immediately improve its properties. They act like a microscopic reinforcement, completely changing how the wet mortar behaves. Okay, so what are these little fibers actually doing once they're in the mix? How do they turn a simple plaster into a high-performance building material? Well, research shows us exactly what's going on. First, they increase cohesion. That just means the stucco mix holds together better and doesn't slump. Second, they boost the adhesive force, so it sticks to the wall much more effectively. But here's the really clever part. They also decrease adherence. And what that means is that less gunk sticks to the tools, which makes the whole thing much easier and cleaner to apply. So it's stronger and stickier where you want it, but not where you don't.
All right, let's pull back out and look at the big picture again. We have this ancient aesthetic, and it's been updated with modern science. So why is this combination so appealing right now? Why is old suddenly new again?
Well, beyond just looking beautiful and rustic, modern stucco is just a really smart material choice. It's incredibly durable, it can last for decades, it's flexible so it resists cracking, it actually helps insulate your home, and it resists moisture and mold. And on top of all that, it's made with eco-friendly stuff, and it's easy to take care of. It's one of those rare materials that gives you both beauty and serious practicality.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's not about choosing between the past and the present. It's about getting the absolute best of both worlds, that timeless, natural feel of traditional materials, but combined with the performance and reliability of modern technology.
And you know, I think the appeal goes even deeper. In a world that's getting more digital, more virtual, more, well, smooth screened, I think there's a growing hunger for things that just feel real. We crave authenticity, we crave a connection to nature, and we crave textures that ground us. And stucco, with its ancient roots and its earthy feel, gives us exactly that.
This whole journey from an ancient fresco to a modern stucco wall really proves that sometimes the best solutions for the future are actually waiting for us in the past. And it kind of leaves you with a question, right? As we're all busy designing our future, what other powerful, beautiful secrets are we overlooking? Thanks for joining me.